Greetings! Here we are playing Shards of Alchemy. We are up to the 4th level of play. It is called the Journeyman level. We previously played Magi, which is a bridge between the early draw a single card and play a single card format, and this one. In this, we will simplify our actions a little bit in that we'll either be drawing or we'll be playing, but playing in the form of buying cards. So we'll either be drawing a number of cards or we'll be buying whatever we can, which isn't limited to a single card like it usually is in Magi. So the rule structure is a little simpler, but the play gets a little deeper. So for a lot of people that have played board games a lot, this would be a fun game, especially because it's not too complicated, but it's interesting. So as always, we are going to draw for the top for the first player. The top of the deck is a gold card if it's gold or gray on top. For the first person to draw, just draw that one and ignore it, because gold and gray are typically either 0 or 3. So I'll pull that one and ignore it, and I'm actually drawing the next one, and that is a 0. My opponent draws a 1, and then we fill out the rest. So my opponent is going to go first. Interesting set here. Okay, so in this game, oh yes, we need to do a little bit of a setup as well. We each start with one of these gray cards in play as a font. One thing should note right away too is in Journeyman and in the Alchemist level that follows it, all fonts are played face up. So they were bought and always played face up. So anything in your mat might be face down, but out here they're always face up. We only see the inside face. Okay, so my opponent's going first. He is going to draw to start with. He can choose. Also, we're going to start on turn 2 with a 2-player game. He can draw up to 3 cards if they don't include gold. Another draw would be a gold, and if it's also available, a gray. So there's 2 draw options when you're drawing. You can draw from the top 6 of the deck, but you can't look at the bottoms of those. You can also draw from the top cards on the discard piles. So here's the top 6. And when you're drawing, you're also drawing to reserve cards for yourself. So if I want a particular card, like say I like this blue font here, right? I'll draw that. And I can get 2 other cards. So I'll look for some of what I want to draw. So you're drawing for the backside as in the previous games. I'm drawing this one. On the back it's black. So I'm looking at the cost of mana. So let me show that to you. This one would cost 2 white and 1 black. So I'm planning ahead for it. And that's kind of the puzzle game of this game, is that you're looking ahead at what you would want to do, usually in the near future, but down the road. Okay, and I can also take a white, and that gets me a little closer to my goal there. And then I will drop a couple of cards, shards, to fill those empty spaces immediately. So you see a lot of the structure is the same as in our previous modes, the general structure. But the game is fundamentally different in the drawing mechanism, where you're drawing multiple cards. And you only do either a draw or a purchase. So that's simpler because the amount that's drawn or the amount that's purchased can be a lot more. So the actions are simpler. Okay, so back to me, my opponent. Let's see, at the end of my last turn, I would move the clock forward 1. I should mention again, depending on the player count, we start with certain fonts in play. So at 2 players, you start with one of these gray fonts apiece. At 3 players, you would start with one of the 1-point value fonts apiece, so one of the standard colors, and so on. You get more when you start, the higher the player count. You also start later on the clock. So what that does is it gives you more, and it compensates at the same time by starting the game later. And that means that if you have more players, the game plays faster, so you're not even at 5 players, it's no longer than probably about 35-40 minutes at the most, which is pretty good for a lively 5-player in-depth game like this. Okay, so I am going to continue working on this. So I need 1 more white, and I'll have what I need to buy this. It's always good to look at those top 6 cards in the deck since you can draw them. So yeah, right there I see a white, and I'll take a gray because grays are easy to buy usually, not always. And let's see, I can look at, also at the beginning of your turn you have to turn 2 of your cards on your mat that were already there face up. I'm just going to turn, here, I'll just turn this one face up as a reminder because maybe I'll be able to buy it later. So let's see. Yeah, might as well just grab, there's no reds out there. I'll just grab one of these green ones and see what happens. Okay, put that back, and I am done. And then the clock goes forward 1, it goes to my opponent.
Purchase this, tapping that, green and white and red.
Okay, so he bought this black font. When you buy something, everything that you buy comes in all at once, so you cannot use it to buy anything else. So a good way to do that is just to tip it to show that it can't be used to spend on anything else. And he used these shards from his mat, so they're spent like loose change, as you can do in Magi. But in here, it's much more common practice to spend out of your mat. You just, what you discard from here, you get 1 element for it, and then it goes to discard. And when you discard, you decide where the first discard goes. And if you have multiple shards, you drop 1, and then the next one goes clockwise consecutively around. But you can choose where it starts. So you can choose what you're covering up. Usually you're trying to interfere with your opponent's choices. So, and I think that's where this game really changes things, because you don't see that until you get into Journeyman, where the draw, discard, buy area is in flux and constantly interfering with each other. So let's see, it's my turn again already. I think it's time to buy this one, so I'll get that. I'll need both of these whites and this black. I'll go ahead and turn that face up, and I'll say I'll have kept this face up at the beginning of my turn. So you don't have to reveal cards. It's your choice which you're revealing for those 2, but you do have to reveal 2 cards. So you can use that. You can just show people things that they already saw. You can bluff with it, but you can also buy the two that are shown face up, or spin them like you can the rest of them in your mat. So some people get confused on that point, but this could be spent as a gray, or it can be bought as a font. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and cover up these things. These were, well, one of them was out here already, but there's one new one. Mm-hmm.
And this one you just put out is a nice one for me. So I can tap this.
He's already got a black. He's got a,
spin these two.
and he's spinning. He's got a red, and then the other red is spinning it as a gray. So, reminder on colors: when you buy something, you use the colors on the card to buy it, but anything can be spent on gray, and gold can be spent on anything. So that's why gray is the lowest value. It can't normally spend on anything except itself. Everything else can be gray. That's pretty handy. So he got that one. And I will start my turn. I'll reveal both of these. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 off the top. One thing you can do is you can set the top 6 like this. Some people like to play it as a courtesy where you keep the top 6 oriented 90 degrees. Not a big deal. Can't look at them though. Okay, so I think I might want to actually get this. And I see that there is a gold and a gray, so I'll draw those two. Put the rest of these back. And next turn, I'll be able to buy this, because I'll just need the gold, and either one of these will work for the gray portion. Let's put the clock forward again. I think it's really interesting that every game mode does something dramatically different than the other modes. But there's also a relationship with them, so that if you know one, it's not too hard to learn the other ones. So he drew some cards, and I guess, yep. So he put those back, and the top card on the deck drops. You can, when you're putting cards back for that 6-card sort of shopping spree where you look through them and decide which ones you want to draw. When you put them back, there is no rule against rearranging those top 6, so you can put them in a different order if you find some advantage in doing that. Okay, so my turn. Let's see. Do I want to draw again? There is a nice 2-pointer out there too. I have 4, so I could potentially draw some more assets before I make any purchases. That could be useful. Let's see. Yeah. Green. I could even buy this red one, maybe. Might be a little bit of a stretch, though. I would have a blue, a green, and I'd have to spin these two to get it. Might be useful though. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Just for the fun of it. Okay, I'll spin both of these for the grays. Buy this red. And we'll put these out here, like so. Okay. That's my turn. Clock goes forward again. Okay, he's drawing both of those grays and a green. Interesting. Okay. So it's back to me. I'm going to go ahead and buy this, and it's going to cost me 1 gold and 1 of anything. There's no cheap grays out there for me to get, otherwise I probably could have got one of those, but that's okay. Now I have 3 grays, and I'll put this out, and that's my turn. It can go pretty quick once you understand the rules, and one good way to practice the rules, this game can be played solo. All the modes can be played solo, but this one in particular, I think the Magi mode, the Journeyman mode, and the Alchemist mode are really fun to play solo, and that's the best way to learn the game. So the first thing you do when you get a copy of Shards of Alchemy is sit down and play it solo, and that will get you a really good practice at it. And also, as you play it repeatedly, you can try for your own highest score. And there's a scorecard in the rules set as well that lets you track what your best score is.
I'm going to try to buy 3 cards at once. So this one from the center, and then these 2 that will face up.
Oh, okay. So he's going to buy a couple of grays and a red.
Green.
Okay.
And then, oh, I don't quite have it. I could do
One of them.
one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do this one. Tap that as well.
Okay. So he needed. So to buy more than one thing, he needed 2 whites, a green, a red, and a gray all together. And so that's what he tipped all the fonts he used to pay for it, and he spent a few shards from his mat as well to pay for all of that at the same time. But we're just on turn 7, and we're already buying, multiple fonts, which is not something you could do in the previous game modes. So it is an interesting dynamic. So here it is, back to me. So I think I don't see any opportunities to buy something right away. There is a cheap green that I could get at some point, but I don't have any of those colors yet. So let's just take a look here. So I think we'll just grab some prospects and yeah, how about this? We'll do this. I'll grab a gray and this gold. This gold is interesting. You need a lot of fonts, but you only need 2 gold. So everything else, the 9 gray, could be anything. So that might be a good one to get. So I'll do that. And then this goes to turn 8. The last player, as usual, in all the formats, puts the clock forward 1. Okay, he's looking at his top 6 cards. Lots of gold and red, 1 black and white in there to pick from. And he's also looking at what else he might want to draw from discard. So you just kind of look at all your prospects. And then he's taking 3 standard color fonts, or shards. Alright. So then it's my turn. Both of these are going to go face up. Okay, good. So I could get this right now. So I could go 3. There's a 3 of a kind rule that was established back in the Magi game. So if you have 3 of a kind, you can call it 1 of a different color other than gold. So I could go 3 gray to make a white and something else for the gray and add a gray. And that's cool, but I think I can probably do a little better than that. I think I'd rather collect toward this other one. So let's see what we got here. 6. Okay, so yeah, I think this 2-pointer might be interesting too. So I'll grab that. And what do we got? And if I am thinking about buying it, I will plan ahead and get another blue and maybe a green and just start working my way up to that. Okay. Journeyman is pretty simple. You'll see in the video following this one, we'll be going into the alchemist level, which uses this rule but adds a bunch to it. This one is like, it's very straightforward. There's still plenty going on. I would say it's pretty much a medium level game. Toward the end, we may end up using this calculator because we get a big engine here. This engine grows and grows. It gets pretty insane. So toward the end, some people like to use this calculator to show their unspent, so it's easier to figure out. At this point, it's still pretty manageable. Okay, so I will just keep working on this. 2, 3, I've got 5. Yeah, I think I'll spend a couple turns just grabbing some gold. Actually, it might be better to work on this one. Let's see. Need one more blue and one more green, if they're out there. I see there's a blue underneath, so I could, oh, that's a green, yeah. Okay. So, but I could use these 3 gray as a blue. So I really just need a green. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will go ahead and take this green. Keeps it out of circulation, so there's 1. Plus this. I already had those. But if I do that, then there's a hard limit of 7 cards too. Okay. Well, let's see. What is a good way to do this? Watch out that you don't get yourself into trouble overthinking it, that's for sure. I could come back to it. Just start buying something. Like I could buy this. It would cost me a black. That's not going to work either. Shoot.
You could if you spent your gold.
Yeah, I don't want to do that though. I want to buy that gold. So I think maybe I'll just draw 2. I like all of these. I don't want to discard anything. So I'll just draw a green here. And something else that might be useful. What else would be good? I'll just follow my intuition and say this black. Okay. So that puts me at 7 cards. And I will advance the clock.
Expensive out here.
As we approach the middle of the game, the cards on discard that are available for purchase naturally become the more expensive ones because we've been snatching up the cheaper ones. There's still cheaper ones in the deck, you just won't see as many of them. And so it's kind of interesting that it pushes you to go and buy those more advanced cards. At a certain point,
Down to get those 2.
Yeah, he wanted to get the white, so he drew the first one on top of it and then the white as part of his draw. So you can kind of dig down into the discards to get one that's deeper. But you have to draw both to do that. Okay. Alright, so I can buy this. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll give me a color I don't have and another gray, so that's useful. Okay, so I've got a blue with these 3 gray, another blue, a third blue, 2 green, and we'll use the red for the gray. And then, so I'm just spending these 3 and I'm buying this. Okay, and that's more elements. Alright, so we'll put these back. This green has been coming out repeatedly. So here's some cheaper cards. And those came out of my draws previously. Okay, the decks, we're up to turn 10, so we're about halfway through the game at this point. So considering we have a pretty good outlay of available fonts to purchase. Mm-hmm. So you bought those 2. That's good. It's buying as many. If you spend everything that you have, you're doing really well with card economy for purchases. Okay, so there we go. So just using that tipping mechanism to show what you've spent is a really good way to track as you go. If you get a lot in play and it gets to be harder to track, that's when you would bring the calculator in. I think a little past halfway, closer to the end of the game, is where we might be using this. I think I will use it to demonstrate how it functions. So that's fine. What do we got out here? Lots of expensive stuff. I do have 1 gold, but yeah. Alright, so I think it's time to get... Oh, I see. He buried the cheaper ones with these more expensive ones. Okay, I see. So if I want to buy this, I'm going to have to draw both of these. So it would be useful to have a green. And what do we have? Another green here. Yeah. That one's not as good for me to buy. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll draw these 2. I'll need a black. I can cover that. Okay. Interesting. I can also draw what I need for this. Okay, so it looks like it's time to look at the tops of these. I think this might be a blue. Yeah. Okay. Alright, nothing terribly interesting up here for me. If I don't want to spin this black, I could draw another one. Okay, we'll do that. Alright, we're up to 6 cards in our mat again. And it's turn 11. Back to my opponent. So yeah, you can pick up the cards in your mat and examine them and kind of figure out what you might want to do. think I do have a white. So what I might do right now is go for these two. Okay, so I will get I'll spin this black actually, and I will spin this as a green, and there's a blue, and here's a white and a gray. So let's put this out here. Okay, and I'll buy both of those. There we go. It's kind of good to get there's 5 standard colors. The 5 colors other than gold and gray are your standard colors. White, blue, red, green, and black. It's good to get one of each of those. It makes it easier to leverage your purchases. It's also good to specialize somewhat. Okay, let's see. Okay, so alright. So I need to look at what's up here. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll just grab. Actually, I'll leave this one here. Let's see what's happening. I will grab this gold. Let the next card fall. That's my turn.
This gold cost me 3 white, 2 green,
2 blue. And this drops first. So after you make your purchases, the empty places are immediately filled before any shards that you spent that are discarded land anywhere. Okay, very good. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, as long as they're sequential. All right. Okay, I'll draw this one. Nothing falls because there's no empty spots. Okay, good. Clock goes forward. And oh yeah, at the beginning of your turn, don't forget that you have to reveal 2 cards. Okay. We're on turn 14 already. Goes pretty quick, even though we're spending some time explaining what we're doing a little bit.
Oh, I could get a card right in the middle. 1, 2.
Okay, so he spent a gold as a black, and then 3 grays as the green, and he bought that one. Okay, that's his turn, it looks like. Okay, so I will go ahead and buy this font that I've been looking at for a while. It's going to cost me 2 gold, and I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right here. So I don't need to spend anything else. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, right here. And that is my turn. All right. So things are coming along. Once you get a gold things get a little easier, but you do gotta collect more things and hopefully get into those. You'll see a lot of these 4-point fonts. Other than the 1-point single element fonts, the 4-point fonts are the second most common, and they are 2 of the standard elements is what they produce. Those are really useful, but they're pretty expensive. You got to get some things going first. Okay, great. So I'll turn both of these face up, and all right. I've got a lot of gray, but not a lot of single color yet. So let's see. I think I can buy 2 1-pointers for free here. So here's a red, green, and maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite. I could spin this. Yeah. So I could go for this one. Red, green, and then blue, green again. And I'll get both of these. So now I have a second white. I've got a black, which I needed. This drops first. And I'll just put this on top. And there it is. We're on turn 16. When your turn's done, you can untip your fonts that you spent previously. Just prepare, start planning your next move.
Golds. White. 1, 2, 3 green.
Alright, he's got a gold right there. Very nice. Okay, let's see. In this game, also the objective is to get the most value in fonts. You still get another 2 for having the most of a color. So that's something that all of the modes share. But the literal value here, you just add up these black pips on the top. And if you have 2 of the standard gray fonts, that's 1 point. If you only had 1, it would be 0 for that. So just something to think about when it comes to scoring a little later. Let's see. I think, yeah, maybe I'll draw this one. I might actually be able to buy it at some point. And draw some other assets with it. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll draw a couple of reds with it as well. Very good. Interesting. Okay.
That's interesting.
Everything is interesting. Okay. So a green, black, and a gray. Okay. I'm done.
This one. 2, 3, 4, 5. Black. 1, 2 blue. 1, 2 black. And 3 gray.
Okay, so he just bought a 4-point font. It's one of the fancy, all those multi-color fonts have the coolest artwork, I think. Okay, so I am going to buy one as well. So there's a red, red, red. 2, 3, 4, 5. Red, green, 2 white, and another green, and then let's see, 1, 2, 3 gray, and we've got this one. Okay, so I got a black blue font, another 4-point myself. Didn't have to spend these 3. Let's see, I think all I had was a gray left over though. So yeah, can't buy anything else. Alright, these will go out here and I'll just cover up, let's see. Yeah, I'll just cover these up. Okay, that is it. We're on turn 19. We're just 2 turns from the end. We'll play turn 19, then 20. The end of turn 20, the clock will hit 21 and the game will be over. So it's this turn and next turn. Can be a little deceptive. On the turn you're currently on, it's that many counts to the end of the game. Yeah, so he's going to use the calculator. Go ahead and bring it out onto the bottom there. No, I mean do this so they can see what you're doing.
So, 1, 2, 3 red. I need 5 red. Now I need blues. So 1, 2 blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 grays. I could use that green as one of my grays.
Yep. There you go. So yeah, the calculator simply shows your fonts that you've tipped, that you're drawing the resources off of, the elements off of, and those unspent elements show up here, the number of those unspent of that color. And then as you spend them, you just draw it down. And when you no longer have any, you just take it off the calculator. So it's a simple mechanism, but it really works well.
I'm gonna spend the gray instead of the green.
That's probably a good idea. So you're spinning a gray instead of that leftover green.
Use the green and a gold and my last white.
There you go.
Which is this.
That's good. Look for leftovers. That's always good. Okay. Excellent. All right. That's it for him. I'll do my turn, and then we'll be on the last turn of the game. Okay. Here we go. Resetting. I know my opponent's doing really well here. He's gonna beat me on the score, but you always just play the best game for yourself too, because in whatever number of players, you're looking for your own personal best score. Okay. So was it this one that you bought?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right, I'm supposed to be the one distracted, not you.
You're narrating. That's why you're losing the game.
So, Let's see. Let's look at these. I've got to put 2 of these face up. We know I have that already. That's probably an easy one to get. So let's see. There's some cheap cards out there. I could just buy some cheap ones. See what I can do. I do have a gold now, so it might be possible. And I have some blue and white. I could probably buy this gold. Let's see what we got. All right, so always good to check it out. There's my gold. There's 2 white. I've got, just to put this calculator to good use, I've got a gray unspent when I tipped that. And then here's a blue. And then there's a black unspent. 1 unspent black as well. And then, yeah, I'll need more blue. There's a green. There's another blue. I'll need a 3rd blue. And then if I want, yeah, I could spend this green. Or I could dissolve a gray. Although, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, let's just spin this green. Okay, so we'll buy that. Now we've got 2 gold. This gold drops first. Remember to always fill the empty spaces before you do your discards. Very important. And then I'll go ahead and put that down. I do have some unspent, but I don't think it's enough to buy anything else. It's just 1 black, 1 gray. Let's go ahead and... So another way you can do this is you can just tip everything and see what you have and just put it all on the calculator. There's another gray. There we go. So I have 1 red, 2 black, and a gray left. Plus I could potentially spend these. That's really, it's just not the right colors to get anything that's out there. So, yeah, that's good.
You could do something very tricky. You could dissolve a black, or dissolve a gray, use 3 blacks
Yeah.
for your other green, and then your red calculator for purchasing this.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that yet. Yep.
Pass
Okay.
the turn.
Yep. So now we're on the last turn.
Let's hope something out here is worth purchasing.
They're all worth purchasing. Look at all those goodies.
Alright. This one's pretty valuable.
Yeah, so there's only, this is a 6-point font,
I just like the prestige.
and there's only 5 of these that have both one of the 5 standard colors and gold. So there's only 6 of those in the deck, and it's kind of nice when one shows up toward the end like this.
There's my gold and white. Now I need black and green. So there's my black.
Feel free to use this too if you need to.
Yep, so this will tap the other green. It's 1 left over, 1 red left over. And I'll need a 3rd green. So I'll use my gray for that.
3 of a kind on gray for one of his green.
Okay, so that is purchased. And it doesn't fill yet, not until the end of my turn.
Right, right.
So if I tip everything else, then I have blue and a gray left over.
Yeah, so just to see what you have left. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And a black on your mat.
Yeah. I couldn't do anything without dissolving.
Yeah, yeah. That's where I was.
For 1 point font.
Sometimes you get what you're buying is the right colors for what you have available to spend, and that's cool. There's the luck of you look for those patterns, but not always. All right, so his turn is done. I'll do my final turn. Let's see. I could try for another gold. I could try for a 4-point card. There is 2 of them out there. Yeah, I have to reveal that. I can't quite get that one. I guess if you have 1 of each color, you can make a gold. So that might be something to look at. So if I have, so to get a gold, you can go blue, red, green, black, white. Okay. So that's a gold, and then 2 more gold, and then I just need 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got plenty. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would decide to spend. Let's just put it on the calculator, actually, because I'm going to see if I can grab one of those 2. Okay, so all my gray, 4 gray to use as gray, which would leave 2 white.
You had to spend 1 white on the gold.
Maybe, but I want to flex it. Okay, so 2 white. I'm going to decide which of those is going to be used for the gray after I get them all out there.
So
Okay.
after you bought your 3rd gold, you have 1 white left.
Yeah. So I'll leave that. And then, oh yeah, the black. 1 black was spent. So there's 1 leftover black. There is 1 leftover blue. And we did all those. So no leftover greens.
You could potentially
Yeah, so white and black, and then I like that. So white and black, and the blue for 1 of the grays, and then the other gray I could spin this. So yeah, I could buy this as well. And this will drop. This will be the end of the game, but you know, keep the protocols. If you were playing this as a serious competitive game, you definitely want to make sure to drop those cards in first, so there's no mix-up. So I bought this, and that is it. So now we just add up our points. So I want to show you the simple method to adding up your points. It's just these pips on the tip of the card here. So what I like to do is just put it in sets of 10. Okay, so here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just do that. Just add them up like that. So 7, 8, 9, 10. There's another set of 10. But also keep them where you can see all the elements, because we're going to do the most of colors as well. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. So 25 points. 25 points for just the fonts. All right. And then we are going to look at, yeah, so we're gonna look at the most colors, which he'll probably win on that as well, but it's always good to go through it. So I have 3 gold. He's got 5, so he gets 2 more points for the gold. White, I've got 1, 2 white. Okay, so you get the most white. You're probably going to get the most of all of these because you do have quite a few. I've got 1 green. All right, I've got 4, 5, 6 gray.
You're gonna win on gray.
Yeah, I won on gray. Okay.
And on black. You have 3 black now.
Okay, don't jump ahead yet. So I got 2 on gray. He got 6 on the others so far. Blue, I only have 2 of those.
2 we tied on blue.
Okay, so nobody won on blue. Interesting. I only have 1 red. You got 3, so you got that too. So you've got 4 2-point additions so far, and then I've got 3 black. So I get 4 extra points. He gets 8 extra points. Okay? And if you're playing more than 2 players, those are going to spread out a lot differently too.
I'm gonna add a card in here.
So the total points were, I had 25 plus 4, so I had 29, and he had 36 plus 8, so he had 46 points. Very good. Yeah, and that was just Journeyman. The next game, Alchemist, can score a lot higher. Okay. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to showing you the next and last final mode of the game, the Alchemist mode, next time.